Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we are at the Swiss National Training Centre and we're going to be doing a competition simulation. This is my first international simulation of the 2026 season. I've done a couple in the UK, but I lost my passport so I couldn't do any of the others, but now I've got a new passport, so we're here in Switzerland and going to be doing a Boulder comp sim and a lead comp sim to give myself some competition practice. So to begin the day, I started with my competition boulder warm-up because the first sim was a boulder sim. My coach Rachel was there as well and she changed my rotation, so I was on some of the men's competition sim climbs. So it's a mixture of women's climbs and men's climbs just to switch it up a little bit and hit the World Cup level sort of thing, because I think some of the women's were European Cup, so just to give some variation into my comp sim. The first climb was a slab. It was sort of techie, very niche movement. I think definitely working some of my weaknesses. Had jibs on it and very specific hip movements. Ratting down on tiny holds I love to do unless it's on a slab, and then I don't do it so well. So this boulder was pretty much my anti-style and I got pretty much nowhere on it in the comp sim. It's just not a boulder that I really come across very much, especially in the UK, so it's really good to kickstart the comp sim off with something that I just wasn't used to at all. The second boulder was a green one. This was a men's climb. This climb wasn't massively long, but it was super powerful, super punchy, and I did manage to get the zone hold and get a little bit higher up, but I couldn't quite figure out my sequencing for the top. But pretty happy to get this foot stab. Those undercut moves aren't something that I was overly confident with last season, so to get the zone on that move felt quite good. This next boulder was again super niche, not something that I really get on very much in the UK, so it's good to just throw myself at it. I tried quite a few different ways and towards the end I actually felt like I was getting quite close to it. I wasn't 100% sure what the intended was when I was on there, but I just threw myself in loads of different ways. My attempts towards the end sort of did feel close. No zone, but I think there was progression there. Again, this was a men's boulder, so also felt pretty far, but it was good and definitely a lot of learning on that one. The next one was the blue one. I'm definitely feel a little bit rusty during this comp sim, just not throwing myself at it. If I can't read it completely, I sort of hold back a little bit. That's what I did on the first attempt of this. I was a little bit confused, so I didn't just fully launch myself. So when I missed that hold, I shook myself off and got straight on it and just committed to the weird move that felt a little bit weird for me. And as soon as I committed to it, it was absolutely fine, so I got that one second go. The last boulder of the comp sim was a black slab, a little bit of standing on dual techs, but this one wasn't too bad. felt quite comfortable, so it was a solid flash to finish off the Boulder comps in. Something about me is that I never really do that well in comps. Like before competitions, I don't really ever do that well in them. And I always sort of forget that. So as soon as something doesn't go super well, I maybe have my head down a little bit and need to be told. My coach just reminded me that it's not very useful for me to go to a different country for a comp sim and then find it all easy. So hence why she went through the boulders and kept the slab in, because I knew it'd probably be my anti-style, and then swapped out some of the strengthy women's ones for the strengthy men's ones. Basically just to shoot me down a little bit, because it's better to fail and to learn something than to get an ego boost, but for it to be way too easy. All in all, I think it was a very good comp sim, and even though I felt like very rusty, I think it's good to feel really rusty and then actually shake off the cobwebs rather than getting a false ego boost almost. Went straight back into ISO for the lead sim. The lead simulation was 2 routes and it was meant to be like 2 qualifier routes. There were demo videos sent out and you could watch everyone. My coach is mean, so she made me go into isolation and I wasn't allowed to watch anyone. And I wasn't allowed to watch the demo video. I was allowed 6 minutes of observation, so it's like semi-finals format. And there was a topo, like a picture of the route in isolation, which they do in World Cup, so I could look at that, but my eyesight's actually not very good, so it's quite hard to read the tiny photo. The first climb, I was actually super nervous. I haven't done a lead comp sim. Oh wait, I did BLCCs, I did lead nationals, but other than that, my last lead competition was World Championships. So I felt very nervous before the first route, and it was good to have to like keep calm and go out. I had a little bit of a, not a nightmare, but in World Cups it's almost easy because there's only one line of clips and you clip that line, but this is like a training centre, so there's loads of routes up. And halfway up I realised I actually had no idea what line to clip, so I stopped just before going onto the headwall on like a flared pinch and a crimp. The rest of the holds up to there were significantly better than those two, so then I just started sort of looking around behind me. You can see in a clip, I'm sure it'll be in there, but I'm like desperately trying to catch people's eyes. I looked at my coach, I looked at you actually, I looked at you once, you were just like filming. I looked at some poor Swiss girl who was like, why is this weirdo turning around having direct eye contact with me? Then I looked at my coach. I looked at her 3 times and every single time I looked at her, she looked away from me. And then when I came down, she was like, no, you didn't look at me, because she was filming me and every single time she looked away. Then we watched the camera and I'm making like direct eye contact with the lens. Anyway, I didn't know which one to clip, and then I just picked it. And then they said I'd timed out, but I was like, I'm gonna carry on going, because if I hadn't rested for an entire minute, by the way, then I wouldn't have timed out. I got to the last move, and because there's no demo video and I also couldn't watch anybody, it's quite hard to know that I was meant to finish on the massive blue hold, so I sort of just let go. Pretty much everything went wrong on that route, but I felt okay. It didn't feel too bad, so I'm happy with how that one went. The second route was the blue one up the right hand side of the comp wall. Had a little bit of round the corner action with some heel hooks and stuff. Lots of pockets at the beginning. didn't go great. I read it wrong. It felt all okay, and I got to this section where I decided to match instead of going out left, basically, and it was just a route reading error, and that screwed me over for the rest of it. It makes this like a whole new challenge, whole different challenge, having to almost like not being able to watch people and not being able to know the intended way, but it's good to make those mistakes now. After the lead simulation, I decided that I was going to focus more on the bouldering, just because I felt relatively fit on the lead wall. It did just feel like a route reading error, whereas bouldering there were technical aspects that weren't quite there. So the first boulder I got on was this black one, a bit of a tricky start move. Well, it's pretty much two move boulder, and the start move was a bit of no texture feet swapping, and then manoeuvring your feet to set up for the last move. That felt okay, I managed to dial that in pretty quickly. The last move was fast hands. Definitely felt like I was trying to preserve my skin a bit, and that was quite difficult when you're launching on holds. But I did feel super close on that one. I think I did manage to improve my movement on the top move. Then I got on the men's slab from the comp sim, the mint one. My finger was playing up a little bit, nothing to worry about, but I was only allowed to try the first move a couple times just because the undercut wasn't too comfortable, my hand wasn't liking it. But the top bit was cool to try. Definitely tried it some ways that was not intended. And I still stand by the fact that the launch just to like holding the slope and scraping your forearms, I still stand by that is possible. And if I had a thick layer of fibrous forearm skin, I would be doing that. But 2 weeks out from the season, I need to have my forearm skin ready. Who was stopping me? Well, every time I did it, Rachel just gave me like a disappointed look. She's just so disappointed in me.
There was a line in the mat.
There was this cool red jump, I don't even know what this kind of jump's called. Anyway, it's cool. Tried that for a little while and managed to get the jump, and then was trying the top move, which felt absolutely massive. watched Jenny absolutely deck it from the top. And yeah, that's all I did for that day. My skin felt pretty dead, and I felt also pretty dead, so decided to call it a day. I'd been there for quite a long time and try and rest and recover as much as possible before the second day of training. So, second day, we arrived and I got warmed up. They've got a big spray wall upstairs, obviously, so just warmed up on that, tried to do some cool moves. Went downstairs to the boulders from yesterday. Got a quick ascent of one of the women's comp boulders from the day before with a cool shoulder move and like a cool jump at the beginning. Then I went on to a power boulder. I was feeling pretty tired and just basically I haven't like fully deloaded from the off-season training. So getting up this power block was an absolute struggle.
Keep the left hand off. It's really sweaty now.
Oh no!
Stop like thinking about the time. It's so weird. You can't go round, it's like really far. That's better. I can go even higher, I think. I grit my teeth so hard that I like hurt it. It's not nice.
Took me a while to figure out the big move to the ball, especially because I didn't think that I'd be able to get around it, but it turns out significantly easier than doing this weird shoulder thing that I was trying a couple times.
What the hell?
I managed to get all the moves and then put it together from the bottom, which felt pretty good.
You always killed her. And who was the one to tell you to go around?
Rachel. Rachel also fell off the seat she was sitting on, so we don't listen to her.
Unless it's climbing related, then you can listen to that.
Probably should. After the purple one, I got on one of the men's boulders from the comp sim yesterday and managed to flash that one. Felt alright. And now it was time to get back on the dreaded slab. So basically the slab was very specific. So basically there are very niche changes that make it a lot easier to do.
I felt like it was there and then I stopped.
And Rachel's very good at picking up on those, so once I had it explained to me and almost like practicing it on the floor off of the wall, made firstly the transition across the first foot off of the start hold a lot easier, and then the slow move down across onto the left foot. I managed to get that basically just by pulling really hard on this jib that was on the start ball.
My right foot's right, I can just stop.
The top of the climb didn't actually take me too long, which I'm quite happy with, and I repeated that a few times. Once I'd done it, I never fell off of it. So I got that done, and then just repeating the first bit, the move onto the first jib foot off of the ball and the move across down onto the left foot. Just trying it different ways and experimenting with what is best for me, because everyone sort of did it differently, but just seeing which ways are easier for me.
That's good.
It's quite nice standing up into it.
You stood up so high that time.
I know.
It was kind of mad.
After the slab, I got on this cool looking blue thing. It's very three-dimensional. First attempt, I got such bad whiplash.
What happened?
I got a throwback to Burn Boulder 4 in finals, where everyone like injured their neck.
I got this!
But after that, I got that first move. The move off the ball was pretty tricky, but once I got that, I managed to get the top, and yeah, it was quite a fun boulder. Then I moved over to one of the men's comps in Boulder from yesterday, and basically threw myself at that a few times. Well, for a handful of times, many a handful of times.
B5 for fun!
You're gone.
I want a snack. Give your Harry Potters.
Do you want Haribo?
I'm gonna be saying it's Charlotte.
By Sharon Lloyd or Rebecca G. Then. Disgusting!
That's not going in there. That is going in there. You're just doing like dish ducks with a.
Holly Woody Golden.
One nice exercise. Get a breeze between the toes.
I love feeling the breeze.
I got painfully close on it, but unfortunately didn't manage to get the zone. But I learnt a lot about my movement and got to a point where I was consistently getting super close like every single go. At this point I was pretty knackered and my feet were hurting, my hands were hurting. Trying to tread the line between training and learning as much as I can whilst not thrashing myself, because I'm sort of trying to deload before the World Cup season begins, so it's a painful line, and I didn't necessarily want to stop, but it was best to stop. So that was the first international comp simulation of the 2026 season. Thank you to the Swiss team for having me, and to like the route setters for getting some cool blocks up. I think it was really useful getting on blocks that actually I wasn't used to the style of it, which was weird but super useful. When this video comes out, I will have competed in the first World Cup of the season, so fingers crossed that that went okay. I'm manifesting me topping all the slabs and coordination boulders and physical boulders. Yeah, that's it. I will see you in the season or in the next video. I hope you have a good day. Bye.